Hey beautiful people, welcome to the weekly oracle guidance for July 6th to 12th, 2020, hosted by Shakima of Consciously Connected. Stay tuned. Hello my beauties, it's your girl Shakima in his house. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today so far. If it's not such a great day, do just try to let the energies dissipate, because we're still sort of coming down from the Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse energy. So the energies are still pretty, the waves are still pretty high at the minute. So we're taking our time to come down from the energy. So try not to judge yourself. Try not to judge the experience too much. Just let yourself be where you are and allow for yourself to navigate through it. I think the Capricorn full moon was always going to be intense, because we have Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter all retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which interestingly enough, those are all my signs. So I'm actually going through a Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter return. That's really quite interesting. But for you guys, what I want to do today, hey David, thank you for stopping into the space. So it's just going to be me today. Mystic Tira is kind of taking the time to navigate through the Capricorn full moon energies, and I think also giving herself what she needs to be able to come back to give us what we need from her, you know, in terms of her element to be able to perform. So what I'm going to be doing for us today, I'm going to be giving us a full-on spread, guys, because how are you finding the energies at the minute, David? Because literally, I think yesterday the Capricorn full moon did rock a lot of people. It did shake a lot of foundations, including myself, but that was to be expected. I already anticipated that earlier this week, where I was transparent and I kind of mentioned that it was going to be pretty intense. But it was really good. It was really, really good. What I'm going to be doing, hey, beautiful. Hello, beautiful Empress. So what I'm going to be doing in the space today, I'm just going to go and dive a little bit into the general for this week. I'm going to really chop it all up and see what's actually coming for us this week, because it's going to be a really interesting week. I feel like this Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse literally just took so much of our old identities. I wouldn't say took it away, but it was a necessary sacrifice for where we're going, you know. And now that the things that weren't necessarily going to be serving for where we're going has been integrated into the person that we're becoming, I feel like the journey is about to get a little bit more comfortable. I feel like this discomfort that we're navigating through right now it's not as bad as it may seem, is probably the best way that I can put it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and chop it up, guys, and see what's going on. So I'm going to start off and see just the usual, where we are as a collective this week, what path we're crossing, what's going on in the subconscious mind, what's going on in the conscious mind, and what is the outcome of that journey. And then I'm going to be utilizing another tarot deck to basically have a look and see what is the attitude for us. First, we'll have a look and see what is the atmosphere, first and foremost, of this week and the energies that we're navigating through. Then we'll have a look and see what is the attitude that we're sort of approaching this atmosphere with. And then we'll have a look and see what is our overall hopes and fears for this particular week. And then we'll close that out with an outcome as well, just so that we can really gauge, you know, how we're actually navigating our way through the climates of the weathers of this week, because it's super, super important. Okay, so that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and get straight into it for today. Let's have a look and see what is the overall guidance spirit for my L.I.F.E Warriors for this week, the week of the 6th of July. What do we need to know? Okay, so it's interesting. A lot of us, we're navigating through broken home, broken marriage situations. And when I say broken home, it doesn't necessarily just mean a single parent home. It also just means how the broken people within our home equally impacted and affected our ability to be whole within ourselves as well. And it seems as though last week was really, really diving deep into that for us, because it threw us off focus a little bit, to the point where we almost feel as though we don't necessarily have any direction right now, which that's because the old version of us had died and the new version is still sort of coming into being. We're going through a spiritual renewal, guys. So coming into this week, it seems like there are wishes that are being fulfilled, but we have to understand that spirit is kind of fulfilling our wishes in a way where it's going to be what is best for collective consciousness, and it's not just about pleasing our ego in that moment. Okay, it seems like the energies that we're navigating through for this week is truth. So the veil has been lifted, guys. I feel like the Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse was one of those eclipses that really cleared any fogginess, any distortion, any disbelief, any confusion of who we are, where we're going. We may not have, and I want to say this because I can hear in the back of my mind, we don't have the complete picture just yet, but another piece of the puzzle has revealed itself to us, and we just have to be able to receive this part of the puzzle with gratitude and not necessarily focus too much on the entire picture of the puzzle, because this one piece is exactly what we need for where we are on the journey right now. And Spirit's showing that this clear thinking is actually going to give us an opportunity to speak our truth, and it's also going to give us the opportunity to see maybe where others haven't necessarily been completely honest themselves as well. I feel like this week is going to be a week of communicating openly, honestly, and the best way that I can put it, it's going to be showing up in our masculine energy. So it's going to be showing up in our actions. I feel like our actions are really going to start to align with our words. I feel like something for a lot of us, guys, so for myself, a lot of the times I can usually see when a person's gone through an ascension, because there's something that happens behind the eyes. But it seems like there's a lot of you guys that's going to be sort of looking at yourself in a mirror, asking, who are you? You know, it's like a reintroduction of this new self that is coming into being. And yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting process, guys. Very, very interesting indeed. What I'm seeing as we move forward from the energies of this week is that there may be some emotional immaturity for a lot of people. And what do I mean by that? So some people may be blocked creatively. They may be blocked in a way where they aren't necessarily as transparent with themselves, or you may be the one projecting this energy where you're trying to run away from yourself, where you're trying to navigate away from the things that this Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse energy has showed you about yourself, because you may not necessarily feel ready and equipped to be able to navigate through it. And that's because you're kind of looking at it from a perfectionistic point of view. You're running away. It's kind of like that escapism, you know, you're kind of running away from your reality just so that you can feel better for that moment. And Spirit's kind of saying that's just going to throw your focus of your ambition. You know, I'm not going to tell you to do something that you don't necessarily feel comfortable with, but I'm going to say push yourself. Push yourself beyond the disappointments. Try your best to push yourself beyond the desire to basically run away from what your intuition is trying to tell you in the moments of this week, because these lessons that are coming up to surface are very, very important, and they're very necessary for what's kind of coming. I'm hearing that they're very necessary for what's coming in the next 3 weeks or so. So allow for yourself to navigate through it as best you can, and know that whatever it is that you feel like you're not equipped to do right now, you'll learn along the way. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, let's have a little look and see what is the overall guidance for my L.I.F.E Warriors for this week, Spirit, the week of the 6th. Okay, so we are at that path of community, guys. Spirit saying the overall guidance is that where we're navigating through at the minute is bringing us closer to our community. We're really connecting with our friendships, and again, friendships comes in all of our ships. We can have friendships with our colleagues, with our parents, with our lovers, with our siblings. We can have friendships. So Spirit is taking us into a place where we're really observing our community, where we're really observing our friendships, and we're really sort of celebrating those friendships, and we're being celebrated within those friendships as well. And it seems like there's a real sense of companionship, there's a real sense of camaraderie is what I'm seeing, and that's the path that we're crossing for this week. And I feel like the community that we're sort of engaging with for this week is really going to help us to be able to plan our future. It's really going to be able to help us to plan and prepare. It's almost like the community, the best way that I can put it, the community is building us up in a way where we're not scared of what's coming. We're aware that there is a certain element of fear of the unknown, but we're not scared. We're embracing it. We're pursuing it. We are opening ourselves up to it in a way where it's going to allow for us to sort of how can I put it? It's opening us up in a way where we're able to say that the things that aren't necessarily in alignment with our true values are the things that Spirit is going to be kind of shielding us from. You know, it's kind of like a gentle nudge as we're sort of riding the waves. So we're learning that it's okay to be able to let go of the things that are not necessarily in alignment with this celebration of life that we're sort of embracing at this point. And it's okay. What I do want to say is that definitely this week we need to dive deep within ourselves to utilize the divine masculine and feminine energy of our Christ consciousness, because I'm seeing the number 3. Okay, that is the number that is assigned to this card. I don't know if you guys can see that. So Spirit's saying that the way for us to be able to celebrate the calamities of this storm that we're going to be sort of riding the waves of for this Capricorn full moon, is to be able to tap into, like I said, that divine masculine and feminine energy of our Christ consciousness spirit within ourselves. And why it's a divine, because they're asking me to go deeper, guys, so just bear with me. Why it's a divine masculine and feminine energy within ourselves is because it takes a divine masculine and divine feminine to create a life. So it takes a man and a woman to create a life. And it is about tapping into the natural nurturing gifts of both elements of masculinity and femininity. Allow for the masculine energy to nurture our projects. Allow for the feminine energy to nurture our emotions. That is going to allow for us to drive the creativity through inspiration to create these projects and products. Clearly, I'm not going to distort Spirit's message through me. So if Spirit said products, there are definitely going to be products created throughout this week and projects that are going to be sort of relaunched throughout this week as well. So it's allowing for you to come closer to your community. Just let it be. Okay, let's have a little look and see what path are we crossing as we navigate through this 3 of Cups energy for this week, Spirit. As clearly as you can, what path are we crossing? Okay. We're crossing emotional security, but there's a lot of scattered thoughts. So we may be grounded in our emotions, but our mind may be traveling into realms of all sorts of consciousness as we navigate through this week. So allow for yourself to be in it. Allow for yourself to be present with it. I can see that what's kind of taking place right now is that as we navigate through the energies of this week, there may be a certain element of curiosity. Okay, as our mind is wandering off into these different places, into these different realms of consciousness, let your curiosity engage. Let your curiosity take you to where you need to be. And bear in mind, I'm hearing, don't fear what comes up, because it is necessary for you to be able to understand what is going on at a psychological level. And what's taking place right now is that your mental is seeking to understand your DNA, seeking to understand your matter. Okay, your mind is seeking to understand the DNA of your avatar. So a lot of these thoughts that are coming is going to give you further clarity about why certain things have unfolded the way that it has for you guys. I'm seeing that a lot of you guys are going to be navigating through a lot of inner child work, and I've probably never mentioned this to you guys before, but that's actually my forte, and I don't know why, but that is actually my forte. I deal with inner child work. I utilize my psychic senses to tap into other people's inner child and engage and observe and see what they're sort of trying to say. So if you guys, that's something that I'm actually going to be utilizing the tools for, using tools. I'm digressing, guys, but stick with me. I'll come back to this space. I'm going to be utilizing the Tools for Using Tools Tuesday segment to be able to do one free session with anyone that really wants to be able to utilize that space to engage with their inner child. So what I would say is watch the space for that, because that is coming, and I feel like it's really going to assist. I feel like that's probably why Spirit has asked me to basically start that transit for this week that's coming, because it looks like a lot of the stuff that we're going to be emotionally grounded, but we're going to be psychologically, we're going to be going through a process of warfare with the childlike beliefs that are no longer serving us. So it's going to be an interesting week, but our community is really going to be important in terms of what we're navigating through as we're riding the waves of these energies, guys. So just let yourself be. Okay, because I'm seeing that what's going to happen is that we're going to get the clarity that we're looking for. We're going to be able to get the insight that we need to be able to push forward to find our soul tribe. Okay, because the distortions of our inner child trauma is basically blocking our ability to be able to live in purpose. And this part is a part of bear with me guys, I'm getting tongue twisted. The process, there we go, of purpose, but the purpose is something grander in itself. Okay, let's have a look and see what's going on in the subconscious mind as we navigate through the energies of this week, Spirit. What do you see going on in the subconscious mind as we navigate through the energies of this week? Okay, so it seems as though, in the subconscious mind, we're contemplating our limiting beliefs. We're contemplating our self-imposed restrictions. We're contemplating our boundaries, guys. We're reevaluating our boundaries. We're redefining our boundaries. And at this time, I just want to say that it's important to not necessarily, again, go back into that perfectionistic viewpoint where it's like things have to be perfect. They have to meet our expectations. No, we have to meet our expectations. And a lot of the times we feel like people have to basically respect our boundaries, but it's us who need to respect our own boundaries, because we will say to a person, this is my boundary here, and they may disrespect that boundary, and boundaries they require consequences. That is exactly what a boundary is. It's a consequence for an action, much like the law of karma, cause and effect. Karma essentially has its own boundaries of life, and what we have to understand as we're navigating through this week is that it's important to be able to reevaluate our old boundaries, because they may need to be integrated into our new identity. And some of those boundaries, again, they're asking me to put across, a lot of those boundaries are your boundaries with yourself. Who are you today? How are you showing up in the world? How do you expect for the world to engage with you? And why should the world engage with you in that way? How are you setting an example of how others should treat you? And why should they treat you that way? It seems as though for this subconscious journey that we're on, Spirit's pouring out anything that isn't necessarily in alignment with our true values. So we're learning how to meet our own values, our own boundaries, and our own expectations. And it seems that we are going to be at a point where we're observing that we are definitely wounded. We're observing that we are the wounded warrior, but we still have life left in us. We still have an opportunity to be able to continue to navigate through the process. And that wounded warrior is still willing. There's a little bit left in the battery. There's a little bit left in the drive, and that wounded warrior is utilizing that little bit that's left to navigate through the rest of what's to come. And it's light working. It's light working, guys. Subconsciously, we're navigating through light working through our own limiting restrictions and self-imposing beliefs. Let's have a look and see what is going on in the conscious mind for my L.I.F.E Warriors, Spirit, for the week of the 6th of July. What do you see going on in the conscious mind? Okay, so in the conscious mind, guys, let's have a little look and see. Consciously, wow. In the conscious mind, we are nursing the wounds of our bruised egos. So, Spirit's telling me a story, so I'm just going to read this story to you guys. I can see that for a lot of us, we were slightly naive in the way that we were approaching life in the past. We were naive in assuming that the way that we were going about things so recklessly was going to protect us. It was going to, and when I say protect us, I don't mean barricade us behind walls, guys. I mean protect us from our own sense and feelings of worthlessness, our own feelings of inadequacy, our own imposter syndrome that we can't fulfill the purpose of Spirit's calling over our lives. And it seems that right now we're actually learning how to be emotionally balanced as we persevere. We're learning how to basically ground ourselves emotionally, so that we can really allow for this inner leader that is within us to be seen and experienced by the rest of the world. And we're going to be able to utilize whatever we're kind of going through during the process of this Capricorn full moon. It's really going to have an impact on our entrepreneurship. It's going to have an impact on our business, guys. It's going to have an impact on the way that we're able to live in purpose to and for the world at large. So Spirit is really giving us an opportunity here to redefine our business, redefine the character of our business, and really understand and understand the purpose of our calling. Because I think a lot of the times we think that it's one way, and Spirit is basically saying that, again, that is only a piece of the puzzle to this grand picture that I'm painting, which is beautiful. Spirit says we're not going to see the entire painting just yet, but again, we really will be able to, by Capricorn season, by the end of this year, there's a lot of us that will be coming out of the closet. And when I say that, I mean those of us that know that we have a skill to give to the world, but we're too busy telling ourselves that, no, this person is better, or that person is better than me, or they're more capable, or they're more worthy, or they're more able. Self-imposed and limiting restrictions. By Capricorn season, Spirit's going to be taking you out of those. So ride this wave, beloved. Let's have a look and see what is the outcome for us as we navigate through the energies of this week, Spirit. What is the outcome as we navigate through this path that we're crossing for the 6th to the 12th of July? As clearly as you can, please. Okay. So, the outcome for us is balance, guys. The outcome is that we'll learn how to juggle everything. We'll learn how to juggle our emotional well-being. We'll learn how to juggle our mental well-being. We'll learn how to juggle our businesses. We'll learn how to juggle our relationships. We'll learn how to prioritize our own needs. We'll learn how to prioritize the needs of others in alignment with making sure that we're also equally taken care of. We will learn how to balance other people's tendency to be slightly immature. We will learn how to balance other people's desires to be codependent, and we will be able to learn how to allow for them to see their own light within themselves by juggling our light a little bit more adequately. After this, I'm hearing that 2 months from now we'll be able to see how much work has been done from this Capricorn full moon season. That's really where we'll start to move forward with this entrepreneurship. It does seem like a positive week, David. It seems like it's going to be a positive week for us. What I want to say is that it seems like we're going to be navigating through the delays and realizing that the delays were really giving us an opportunity to learn how to juggle everything, and we actually start to be grateful for them. So the 2020 lockdown will make a little bit more sense to us in the next couple of months is what I'm hearing. And I'm getting emotional about it because I feel like it's going to be breakthrough moments for a lot of people in the next 2 months. It's going to be amazing, guys. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We're going to go a little bit deeper and see what's going on in the atmosphere for us. Okay, Spirit's asking me to split the deck. Okay, what's the atmosphere like for us overall? What do you see for us this week, Spirit? Okay, there are people, yeah, I feel like it was needed for myself as well, David. I feel like they're being very specific with timelines, and usually when they're specific with timelines, it's because there's a lot of people that are asking when, and it's almost like they're still persevering and they're still moving forward, and they're just like, I know that I'm capable of doing this, but I just want to know, you know, when there's going to be a moment where things start to open a little bit in the clear. So they're being very, very encouraging with the timelines, which I appreciate because it's beautiful. What I'm seeing is that why this was necessary is because there were so many changes that were sort of taking place, and a lot of us were, how can I put it? There was almost a fear of change. Better will come out of it. Absolutely, absolutely, David, absolutely. I can see that it seems like where we were before, Spirit is basically now taking us to a place where we will avoid disasters moving forward. And I'm laughing because I want to cry, because I can feel that this was done with such deep unconditional love, in ways that we really don't even yet understand how to love ourselves. And Spirit was sparing us the despair of the future. And I'm seeing that there were timelines that we were heading into 18 months from now that was just going to be internally destructive. And Spirit's just saying, because I love you that much, because I love you that much, I wanted this for you. So it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. It seems like the path that we're navigating through this week is the path of the High Priest. This is a path where we'll be diving deep into the mysticism of life and really realizing that we hold the key. We hold the key to manifesting our desires. We hold the key to achieving our goals. We hold the key to creating that which we intend to sire into our reality. That's how I'm hearing it. But first, we have to be able to give it back to a higher power. We have to give it back, like I said, the divine masculine and feminine of our Christ consciousness within. I'm hearing that we have to give it back to the divine and release our... Whoa. Okay. What I'm feeling in this space is that if we give it back to God, if we give it back to spirit, source, energy, whatever you want to call it for yourself, spirit will work through us in ways that we can't even imagine. If we let go of what we think that it needs to be in this moment, spirit is going to utilize our solar plexus in ways that is going to allow for us to be used to speak power over people's lives, to speak inspiration and motivation over people's lives, to speak truth and love over people's lives. And I can see that where we're heading with the energies of this week is just a new norm. It's a new way of manifesting. It's a new way of being. It's a new way of living. It's a new way of feeling. We're going through a rite of passage this week. We're going through a rite of passage, okay? We've got the 6 of Sword energy, okay? And if we look at this card, he's carrying all of the mental... So swords are usually in... how can I put it? It's usually indicative of mental belief systems, right? We are voyaging on the waters. We're carrying our mental thoughts that is going to allow for us to tread the waters of our emotions into that next version of self. That's what we're focusing on this week. And it's not to say that... I want to say this because they're saying it's not to say that the old versions of us wasn't necessary. It's just that the old versions of us didn't believe the version of us that spirit's creating. And I'm getting emotional with that because that resonates. The old version of us just didn't know that we were going to be used in this way, and spirit's saying that that old version, as much as source loved it, it was going to continue to keep you comfortable in where spirit is taking you. Is going to be uncomfortable initially until you are able to stabilize. Okay, now let's go, spirit. Thank you. I'm hearing that I'm doing well with not actually crying and distorting the information, and I'm saying thanks because I'm very good at crying. Okay. So what is the atmosphere that we're navigating through this week? Okay, that was very quick, guys. Right. Wow. The atmosphere that we're navigating through this week, guys. We've got 5 of Wands energy and the World. Okay, the atmosphere that we're navigating through this week is, I don't want to say conflict. We're navigating through the conflict that's already within the world. We're navigating through the karma that's already been created, and the atmosphere that we're sort of navigating through is conflict. Okay, conflict of the world. That is the atmosphere that we're navigating through. But the beauty of it is that for a lot of us, we aren't engaging in it. We aren't making judgments on it. We're being practical about it. We're being practical about the way that we choose to engage with it. We're being practical in the way that we choose to not let certain people get into our minds. Because if we knew how powerful we were and how much we actually really just infect and affect each other, we'd actually take a lot better care of each other in a lot of ways. But we're learning how to not basically let other people's projections this week in this atmosphere infiltrate our minds, which is beautiful. We're having a moment where we're flying away, guys. We're becoming lighter and lighter as we transcend and ascend into the versions of ourselves that is more grounded, that is more down to earth. And we're learning how to mother ourselves, and we're learning how to father ourselves in ways that the world externally just isn't capable of just yet. And I think that by us being able to do that for ourselves this week, it will really allow for us to release any anxiety of other people meeting our expectations, including our parents and our loved ones, moving forward. So it's beautiful. We're actually going to be doing some parenting for our inner children this week. So amazing, guys. What is the attitude as we navigate through these energies of this week? as a collective, okay. Again, we've got the King of Cups energy, guys, which is beautiful because we have the King of Cups energy in our conscious mind. So Spirit's just further confirming. We are emotionally grounded as we're navigating through this. So I want to hold the card up so that we can see it in its fullness, right? See if it can focus. So if you can see, the tides are coming in, the emotions of the waters are coming in, but this divine masculine energy is, sometimes our masculine energy can be quick-tempered. This is kind of like where we're quick to anger sometimes, and we're quick to be impatient, and we're quick to be in frustration sometimes. And what Spirit is showing is that our masculine energy is going to be very grounded as we navigate through the weathers of the waters of our emotions coming in and out. And what I want to say as well is that in order for us to be able to be emotionally grounded and secure, it's going to require, again, I'm being asked to, highlight the fact that we need to allow for the divine masculine and feminine energy within ourselves to come together, because the masculine is going to seek to understand the femininity of vulnerability, and the feminine is going to be able to ground by understanding a little bit more about the masculine nature of ourselves, which is interesting because what they're telling me is that we will be observing more and doing less for this week. We'll be observing more and doing less. And when I say doing less, I mean doing less in our relationships, doing more for ourselves, doing less, maybe taking back some of our energy and taking back some of our our willpower that is wrapped up and entangled in other people's will of what they want us to do. Spirit's saying that we're going to be emotionally cool, calm and collected as we navigate through the energies of this week, which is nice. That's nice. That's the attitude that we have. Tell me more, Spirit. What's the hopes and fears as we navigate through the energies of this week? Wow. This is the hope, and it is equally the fear. The Emperor. So the Emperor in the tarot represents solid foundations. It represents a knowing of self that will, how can I put it, be able to withstand stability for generations to come. And what I'm seeing is that Spirit's saying that we hope for this. Our hearts are yearning for it so much. We desire it, not even just on a financial level, but so many of us want to be able to activate and shift certain parts of our DNA that, we don't necessarily want for our lineage to still be navigating through beyond our lifetime. But so many of us are scared of the price that it's going to cost us, the price that it's going to cost our vulnerability, the price that it's going to cost us actually stepping up to this purpose within ourselves. And I'm feeling it like a burning sensation on our hearts. We feel it, and it's almost like our heart is calling for this stable environment that we want to be able to manifest, that we want to be able to materialize, right? But a part of us is scared of the price that we have to pay to achieve it. And if you have a look at this energy as well of the Emperor in this, the Emperor has now come to a place where, if you look at the Ankh, so the Ankh is the top layer represents the feminine energy, and the bottom layer represents the masculine energy, the coming together of feminine energy, which is intuitive energy, and masculine energy, which is the ability to create through intuitive guidance. So in order for us to be able to get to this place, Spirit is again just calling to say that the solid foundations that we're looking for can only be achieved if we are able to balance our ability to intuitively see what is necessary and put action to those things. And I want to say, wow, this is beautiful. There will be generations after you. There will be generations, 3 to 5 generations after you that will still, and I'm getting emotional, that will still be able to honor the work that you've done in this lifetime for your lineage. There is generations. I'm hearing even up to 7 or 8 generations, but there will be at least the first 3 to 5 generations. It's almost like they will be praising you at their altars, carrying you within their temples, allowing for themselves to be connected with you, whilst you are also on your next phase of your transition in spirit. And that is what this foundation that you're setting is really going to do for your lineage. And I'm seeing that you're going to be persevering against the chaos. You're going to be persevering against the confusion. And I think that that's a part of the fear that we're navigating through, is that it's confusing. We know that we want to do these things. We know that we want to achieve these things, but it's very confusing as to how. And I know, because we're just getting it literally just puzzle piece at a time. But honestly, the human mind wouldn't even be able to, because our ego is so rigid in a lot of ways, because it can only observe through the lenses of perspective, bit by bit. Spirit can't give it to us in that way. And there's a story in the Bible, which Mystic Tira, she was sort of referring it back to me, about when God actually did try that, and he tried to give one man all of the information, and it just didn't work. The conscious mind, and I think that God learnt its lesson in that moment, where the conscious mind isn't able to receive everything all at once, which is why the subconscious mind holds access to all of that information, and the conscious mind gets the downloads bit by bit, because all we need is the key at that stage of the journey, and the puzzle that we receive at that stage of the journey is the key that we need. That's the key that's going to unlock where we are and take us into the next place of where we need to be from there. What I'm seeing as well is that we're going to be navigating through this process very, very quickly, guys. Very quickly. It's almost like there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be flushing out. I want to say, okay, so the tides have come in, right, during this Capricorn full moon, and it's going to be taking a lot out with it as it pulls its waters back. And as it pulls its waters back, it's actually where gaining more perspective of the lands. We're gaining more perspective of the riches within the soil of the land. I hope that I'm making sense here, guys, because they're showing me the picture, and they're sort of like showing me that there's so much within us. There's so much within ourselves that we can't yet see. And because of that, this hopes and fear, Spirit is really going to be taking us through it over the course of the next 2 months. Yes, this Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse energy is, going to be dissipating over time, but within the next couple of months, we'll really start to see this Emperor energy, where we've now started to see that we're balanced within our divine masculine and feminine energy, to the point where we are now conscious of how we're utilizing it and why we're utilizing it to navigate through the process as we do. Okay, I'm going to close out the space, guys, with a outcome, just to see for this guidance. What is the outcome for us as we navigate through these hopes and fears and these eternal internal desires that we have, Spirit? What is the outcome as we navigate through the energies of this week? Okay. So the outcome is that there are financial losses and financial, I guess, again, I already mentioned the lockdown of 2020. They're showing that situation that took place earlier this year is now going to put us in a position where there isn't really much of a balance in our work and personal life as we're navigating through the energies of this week, because we're going to be utilized. It's almost like a drive that we haven't known before. There's a desire, there's a burning desire that is taking place on our hearts as we navigate through the energies of this week. And its desire is to fulfill its wishes, guys. Its desire is to fulfill its wishes. So this week is going to be very, very tricky. So you are going to have to learn how to, again, going back to the outcome as well, right, of the Two of Pentacles, juggling everything. You're going to have conversations, difficult conversations for some people, to let them know when you can and can't do certain things, because Spirit is taking you into a place of expressing your creative endeavors during this week, purposefully, because you're really shifting the ancestral direction, the lineage the baggage of your ancestral lineage is going through a process of being recoursed through you this week, and it's going to be very... No, thank you, David. I think it was just really beautiful to just hear how Spirit was articulating everything, and it seems like we are going to... It's going to be a little bit hectic, I'm not going to lie. There's going to be a lot of downloads this week from what I can see, because our minds are going to be wandering into so many different realms of consciousness this week, but it's necessary. Let your mind wander and anchor yourself. Anchor your emotions, and anchor your feelings, so that as you travel into these different realms of consciousness, you can just observe. Because what you find in those realms is really going to help you. There's somebody, and I don't even know. Let me know 2 months from now, David, where you are with this entrepreneurship journey. But they're telling me that somebody 2 months from now is going to be coming into their own in ways where they can't even imagine. So I'm sure that that's going to be the energy for collective consciousness as we navigate through all of this. But yeah, just allow for it to permeate through you guys. Allow for it to permeate through you, because there are people that need you. There is a community that need you to live in purpose. There is a tribe that is literally awaiting your awakening of 2020 3 years from now, just so that they can be who they are growing into 5 years from now. And you will be the person to do that for them. And again, I'm getting emotional because I can see that there is a real sense of gratitude for how you will change their lives. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there for you guys, because it seems like there's pretty much that's pretty much the entire scope of what's sort of coming for us this week. So yeah, I feel a little bit shaky because, you know, it's like so much beautiful energies in the air, but yeah, I just want to send you guys so much love. Thank you for sitting in the space with me in its entirety, David. And I'm sending you nothing but love, light, and positive intentions for the journey ahead, beloveds. I guess I'll see you guys. I'm actually going to get back on here in about half an hour or so to do the analysis, the astro analysis for this week. So we'll see more about what's going on astrologically that is really allowing for this transit to take place. Okay, guys? Thank you, David. God bless. Mwah. Take care, guys. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more.